towards that for a minute.
And he doesn't shy away from opinion.
I would be lying to you if I said I had not heard things. They're like a bad rash. You hear a lot of things. Some are true, some aren't.
It's Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
And a very good Thursday evening to you, Jacksonville. It is Hacker After Dark, 1010XL 92.5 FM with Dylan Denmark. The Hacker Ryan Green with you. Glad you are with us. Day 2 of Jaguar training camp earlier today down at the Miller Electric Center. I had the opportunity to catch up with Andrew Dewey Wingard, and boy, did he have a lot to say. We will play that conversation in its entirety for you in less than 15 minutes. We're going to talk about some of the things that Dewey said, though, coming up in just a moment, Jaguar fans. I think you'll find it very interesting. And by the way, it was a good day to have a one-on-one with Dewey Wingard. Not one, but 2 interceptions for Wingard today in the red zone drills off of Trevor Lawrence. So we will certainly discuss that as well. So Andrew Wingard coming up in just a moment. Also, a couple of former Jaguars joining us tonight. Former Jaguar wide receiver, my buddy Cecil Shorts, will stop by in about 35 minutes or so. We get Cecil every week during the year. We get him at the beginning of training camp as well. And we'll talk Jags. We'll talk a little Houston Texans, a little Titans and Colts as well with Cecil Shorts. And my pal Leon Searcy, former Pro Bowl offensive tackle for the Jacksonville Jaguars. You hear him every day on XL Primetime. He is the last one of our NFL team previews. We've gone division by division. We started on the Tuesday after Memorial Day in Buffalo, and we end tonight on July the 25th. All 32 teams covered. The Jaguars, we always end with them. So we'll get Leon Searcy to recap the Jaguar offseason and get his thoughts as training camp has now arrived. So we are absolutely jam-packed. We are with you until 10 o'clock tonight. And as always, Jacksonville, we are glad you are spending part of your Thursday evening with us. Every night here on Hacker After Dark, we do kick it off with a big deal of the night. And Dylan Denmark. Let's do that right now.
Time now for the big deal of the night.
What's the big deal?
What is the big deal?
No big deal. It is a big deal.
On Hacker After Dark.
So I knew I was going to talk with Andrew Wingard after practice today. I knew that yesterday. I even promoted it on last night's show. Certainly did not know that Andrew Wingard was going to have not 1 but 2 interceptions today off of Trevor Lawrence. That is what you call gold in the sports radio industry. So it was a good day to be talking with Andrew Wingard, and we will talk about that and Trevor's performance in one moment. But as I was doing some thoughts and some research, I guess, for the interview, I started thinking, all right, Dewey's been here since 2019. There's 90 guys, 90 out there right now for the Jaguars here in 2024. How many guys have been here as long or longer than Andrew Wingard? And I started thinking, well, obviously Tyler Shatley, that's 1. Cam Robinson is 2. Logan Cook and Josh Allen have been here as long. Cook maybe a year before, but Allen was 2019. And that's it. Tyler Shatley, Cam Robinson, Josh Hines Allen, and Logan Cook. Of the 90 guys that are out there, those are the 4 guys that have been here as long or longer than Andrew Dewey Wingard. The guy is a staple in that Jaguar locker room. He's certainly one of my favorites. My claim to fame. And yeah, I do repeat it because it's my moment, man. And luckily, Leon Searcy was standing right there with me when it happened. Every year, dating back to when I started doing this crazy thing they call sports radio, I go out to OTAs or minicamp and I pick a guy, an under-the-radar, underdog-type guy. And I remember in 2019, I'm standing there next to Leon, and I see 42 with the flowing locks at the safety position. And I said, Leon, I have absolutely no idea who that guy is, but that's going to be my guy. And that guy was Andrew Wingard. He's coming into 19, 20, 21, 22. He's coming into year number 6 here in Jacksonville and is among the top 5 longest tenured Jaguars currently on the roster. With that longevity comes an interesting perspective that Dewey has. Man, he was here in some bad times for this organization. He's now here in some good times. So when I talked to him today, again, we'll play you the entire interview coming up here in about 10 minutes. But listen to his response when I said, all right, Dewey, you've been here for the down times. You've been here for the good times. You've seen it all. Listen to what Dewey said about a couple of years ago as a Jaguar player compared to right now.
I was here. I don't even think Doug Marrone even knew who I was for 2 years, honestly. It was that kind of vibe. It was just like it wasn't good. It was a bad culture, and you knew when you stepped out on the field, it was like, we're going to lose. It was just terrible. But now it's like, okay, we're here. We got this new facility. We got great players. It's really Doug. Like, when you see Doug leading the way, like, he's a winner, and you want to follow winners. So there's definitely a culture change, but it's time to win. It's time to win. So we can all sense that. And it's weird because last year it was more of like, oh God, we have to win. But now it's like, it's time to win.
I don't think Doug Marrone knew my name for 2 years. It was a bad vibe. It was a bad culture. When we took the field, we knew we were going to lose. That was 2019 and 2020. Good grief, man. That was not that long ago. That was the culture here in Jacksonville. You heard that from a guy right then, an Andrew Wingard, who was a part of those teams. I don't think Doug Marrone knew who I was, knew my name for the first 2 years. Holy cow. But times have changed for the players and for you, the fans. The brand new, beautiful Miller Electric Center. Now you're re-signing all your homegrown talent from Andrew Wingard, Devon Hamilton, Tyson Campbell, Joshua Hines-Allen, Trevor Lawrence. It's like I always say with Jaguar fans. You're like Andy Dufresne in the Shawshank Redemption. You swam through 500 yards of awfulness, and now you've come out clean on the other side. Well, apparently, so have the Jaguar players that were here in 19, 20, and 21. I think we knew how bad it was with Urban, right? That's been well documented. We knew how bad that was. But according to Dewey, it wasn't very much better the last couple of years of Doug Marrone. Wow, just crazy stuff, man. Crazy stuff. How far this team has come. You know what's amazing about it, too? You, the fans, we, the media, they, the players, we were upset about 9 wins last year. Think about that for a second. Honestly, think about that. We were upset about 9 wins. This team won like 9 games in 3 years. 19, 20, 21. Yet we were upset about 9 wins in 2023. That, to me, is an unbelievable indicator of how far this team has come. So I appreciate Dewey. Again, we're going to play you the entire interview. That comes up in less than 10 minutes. As far as Trevor Lawrence today, he got intercepted twice by Andrew Wingard. Look, we all know this time of year, or most of us know if you followed it long enough, normally the defense is ahead of the offense. Why is that? I don't really know, honestly. Maybe it's a little more simplified for the defense at this point of camp early on. I'm actually going to ask Cecil Shorts that, a former Jaguar wide receiver, coming up later on here in the 8 o'clock hour. But the bottom line is when Trevor Lawrence signs a $270 million contract, right, $55 million a year, it is now newsworthy when he gets picked off a couple of times in practice. Does it mean anything in the grand scheme of things? No, not if he comes back tomorrow and performs well. But if he throws a couple of picks tomorrow, well, then the conversation will continue, right? But you made him the franchise guy, and all we can go on is what's going on now in the second day of training camp. So I'm not going to blow it out of proportion by any stretch. But what was Trevor's problem his rookie year? What was his problem in 2022? Turnovers in the red zone. That ridiculous interception against Houston, right? Derek Stingley, I think, was the guy. The ridiculous interception in London against Denver and Justin Simmons. I personally tried to mentally block those things out of my mind. They were so ridiculous. And Trevor would tell you they were ridiculous. Yet again, today, again, no pads in the middle or I guess late part of July. We're not playing a regular season game for, 45 days. But when you throw a couple of red zone interceptions to the same guy and basically the same part of the field, it's newsworthy, right? You got to at least talk about it. I'll be interested to see how Trevor responds tomorrow because there was some nice things from the offense today, but the defense won the day. The defense outperformed the offense, at least in the red zone portion, led by Andrew Wingard's 2 interceptions. So again, bad day at the office? Probably. Will the offense respond tomorrow? I would tend to believe that. If they don't respond tomorrow, and if Trevor does not play or practice well again, we will be here 24 hours from now talking about that. Because with that contract comes expectations. And today, the defense outperformed the offense and the offense's franchise quarterback. By the way, Ryan Nielsen met the media today. Every time I hear from that guy, he's more and more impressive. More and more impressive. And I'll tell you this, and you'll hear Andrew Wingard talk about this here in just a moment. Defensive guys love him. Love him. Real quick, Denmark, apparently somebody told me that this was a quote from a president, 100+ years ago, which I don't doubt, but I thought the absolute quote of the day was when Ryan Nielsen met the media earlier on this morning. And his exact quote was, let me pull it up here, "Players don't care about what you know until they know how much you care."
Yeah, that's true.
That was a phenomenal quote by Ryan Nielsen. And again, I don't know if he got that from somewhere else. If he did, more power to him. But even so, to really put into perspective from a defensive coordinator mindset, again, players don't care about what you know until they know how much you care. Words to live by. Here on a Thursday night edition of Hacker After Dark. Again, we're absolutely jam-packed. 2 former Jaguars, 2 good buddies of mine, Leon Searcy, Cecil Shorts, will join us. Cecil in about 35 minutes, Leon about an hour from now. But coming up next, a current Jacksonville Jaguar, Andrew Dewey Wingard. It was a humdinger of an interview. He had a lot to get off his chest, and you'll hear it next. Hacker After Dark, 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
There he is.
Dan Hickett,
Joe Hollywood.
Mr. Big Shot.
Jeff Prosser.
I'm a teacher. All I need are minds for molding.
They are The Drill. Mornings on 1010XL.
Do we get any sort of souvenir?
Awaken 180 weight loss. Awaken 180 weight loss. This week is always fun, the first week of training camp, because I see a lot of my colleagues in the media that I don't really get to see or haven't seen in at least 2 months. And I go into the media room yesterday, went into the media room this morning, and just I see the eyes. Like, Hacker, man, you look great. I hear you talking about it, but all the weight you're losing. Tell me about Awaken 180. Tell me about Awaken 180. Well, I'll tell you this. It's the best weight loss program I've ever been on. When you can lose over 80 pounds in less than 5 months, Those results speak for themselves. It's life-changing. It's absolutely life-changing. I cannot possibly recommend this program enough. If you need to lose weight, you need to go to awaken180weightloss.com or give them a call at 844-346-1800. Take it from a guy who's lost 80 pounds in 5 months. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
It's time to fire up your grills, shoot off some fireworks, and launch one of the biggest sales in the history of the United States. It's our independent sale happening right now at Beaver Toyota and Beaver Chevrolet. Whether you drive a car, a truck, or an EV, everyone is welcome to celebrate our independent sale with the lowest prices, largest inventory, and the most love for our country. Come celebrate with Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine or Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville. You don't want to miss this.
The coolers are full at your local Gate gas station, making it easy for you to cruise in and cruise out with little downtime. Ice cold Coronas, Natty Light, Stella Artois, and Michelob Ultra. Don't forget the king of beers, Cold Buds. Gate's got them in the cooler, waiting for you.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, Prime Men's Medical Center will get your sex life back in just one visit. Their painless, breakthrough medical treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Prime Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Prime Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments will restore your sex life regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. Plus, you'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients will have their testosterone checked free. Call 904-902-8222. 904-902-8222. To regain your sex life in just one visit, call now. 904-902-8222.
Catch all the interviews and analysis of this year's ACC kickoff.
Sold-out crowd, Doak Campbell Stadium.
Coverage on 1010XL is brought to you by the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters, Local Union 234, and Salvatore's Pizza at Tapestry Park.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On July 25th, 1956, Pittsburgh Pirates' Roberto Clemente hits MLB's first and only walk-off inside the park grand slam for a 9-8 win over the Chicago Cubs.
Former Jaguars corner and first-year head football coach at Duval Charter School at Bay Meadows, K-12, Aaron Beasley here. Are you looking for an A-rated K-12 school prioritizing academics, arts, and athletics? Duval Charter School at Bay Meadows offers a rigorous curriculum to develop strong minds with an additional focus on growing good hearts. DCSB has been an A school for 8 years, and our tuition is free. Now enrolling. Apply at baymeadowscharter.org.
Expert Automotive is ready to keep you cool this summer. Right now, get an AC inspection or a system cooling checkup. Your choice for only $19.99. Their gift to you this summer is $50 off any service and a free tire rotation with any service. Their ASE certified technicians can keep your car cool without breaking the bank this summer. Call them at 374-3373 to get an appointment today. Expert Automotive. They never sell greed, only what you need.
If you're searching for a new fence installation, challenge yourself to find a fence company with more positive online reviews than Superior Fence and Rail. With over 3,000 reviews and a 4.9 out of 5 review range, Superior Fence and Rail is, well, superior. So take the online challenge or let their professional team show you what superior service looks like. Superior Fence and Rail, where quality matters.
SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Baseball is back. Jumbo Shrimp Baseball, presented by FIS, takes the field this season at 1-1 Financial Ballpark as the AAA affiliate of the Miami Marlins. Tickets start at just $5, fireworks after every Friday home game, and kids run the bases after every Sunday game. JackShrimp.com. Jumbo Shrimp Baseball, affordable, family fun.
Calling all disc golf enthusiasts. Play It Again Sports Jacksonville wants your used discs. Now through June 29th, earn cash on the spot plus $5 in sports bucks for every $25 of disc golf gear we buy. Play It Again Sports also stocks new discs from your favorite brands like Innova, Discraft, Discmania, and more. Stop in today and shop our huge selection. Merrill Road near 295 in the Merrill Station Shopping Plaza or online at playitagainjacks.com.
Soccer fans, don't miss your chance to see teams from the English Premier League compete in the Stateside Cup right here in Jacksonville. Competition will be fierce when Wolves and West Ham United take the pitch under the lights at Everbank Stadium July 27th. It's Premier Soccer at a premier venue for one night only. Tickets are going fast. Buy yours today at statesidecup.com.
Does the building you go to work in every day need a little love and attention? Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Great companies take great care of the buildings their staff and customers walk into every day. If the building you're in doesn't match the vision you have for your company, we can help. Go to performance-painting.com. Our highly trained team makes the difference. Quality coatings applied with pride.
Performance Painting. 1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Yes, it is. We're glad you're with us. Earlier today, down at training camp, day 2 for the Jacksonville Jaguars, I had the opportunity to catch up with Andrew Dewey Wingard. Here is that conversation on Hacker After Dark. Day 2, training camp, Miller Electric Center for the Jacksonville Jaguars. We've got Andrew Dewey Wingard with us. Dewey, how are things going out there?
Going great. Got to get the legs back a little bit, though. You know, you can't really prepare for football shape, so it's a little bit of grind out there, but it's been good. It's been good to get back and just put last season behind us and just get to work.
I told you it's always a good day to have Andrew Wingard, but it's a really good day with 2 interceptions today off of Trevor. Talk about the performance out there. You're looking good.
Thank you. Just playing ball. I really got to praise our defensive staff, Coach Nielsen, Coach Richard. They really got us dialed in on our assignments. And when you know what you're doing, you can go out and play fast and make plays, and that's the game of football. So shout out to them and just playing ball.
One thing that we always like about you, and I think you know this, is you speak your mind. And I think you had some comments at the end of last season that might have been a little critical of the way things ended. And whole new defensive staff, basically a new defensive staff, a lot of new players. What are your thoughts on all the changes on defense?
Definitely not to say anything about last year, but just to praise the guys this year. They're great coaches. I mean, Coach Richard was with Seattle in their heyday. Coach Nielsen was obviously with the Saints for those many years when they were under Sean Payton playing great defense. So they know what they're doing. They know how to coach great defense. And to me, it's just they have our eyes right. They have our stances right, our assignments. It's like when you get a bunch of guys and you put gray area, and guys are thinking, you know, you can make great football players, not great football players. But when great football players know what they're doing and can play fast, look out. So,
well, the mix in the secondary is interesting too. It's you, Cisco, Campbell. You guys have been here a while, but a lot of new guys: Darnell and Ronald and Jari and DeAndre. Just talk about the mesh of the veterans that have been here a while with the new faces that have arrived.
Right. Everyone. It's like the first day we met here, it was like we all knew each other. It's something about Cisco and DT, Tyson. They're just such fun guys to be around, such great guys. And it's crazy because I've been teammates with Cisco and DT and Tyson for like 5 years now. So it's just super cool that we have such a tight-knit group. And then you bring in Darby, Antonio Johnson, Darnell, all these guys who are great players, and we all just can feed off each other. But it's really the off-the-field stuff. Like, we all love each other. Like, we're all great friends. We're sitting with each other at lunch every day, and that really makes us want to play more for each other, and it helps us play better. It elevates us. So to your point, having all those guys in here, especially like a Ronald Darby, you know, you need one vet who's been around, who's won a Super Bowl, AFC championship last year with the Ravens. It's like those young corners are learning so much from him. And then with Darnell, I mean, he's been a great safety in this league for a long time, and he can play nickel as well, but I'm learning a lot from him too, and I learn a lot from everybody. So we got a really good group.
A couple of more for Andrew Dewey Wingard here with us on 1010XL. We talk about longevity. I looked at the roster today, 90 guys out there. Less than 5 have been here as long or longer
than 42 has been here.
Yep.
Just your thoughts on your career here in Jacksonville, and you're one of the guys that fans really flock to.
Well, I've just been blessed. Got to attribute it all to God and Jesus Christ, my Savior, truly, because I wouldn't be on this journey if it wasn't for God. So that's the biggest thing. But then, it's cool. Yeah. It's cool, I pride myself on, I want to be one of the guys, and to be one of the guys on this team is cool. But I want to go win. I want to go win bad. I want to, plant a legacy. So that's the goal this year, is to get the you-know-what after it. So I'm super excited, and, to be here with my guy Josh Allen, see him get re-signed. We're the last two guys of the 2019 class. So we got a really good bond, and it's just super cool. And I love Jacksonville. I love the fans. I love the team, and I want nothing more than to see this succeed here. So.
And you were here in the dark times. I mean, let's be honest. You were here with some times that were not very good. So, I mean, just compare and contrast. The fans of the Miller Electric Center today, all the new contracts that were signed this offseason, it is, for us in the media, it's 180 degrees. I can't imagine what it's like for you that lived through both of those eras.
Yeah. It's funny, we were talking at lunch the other day. I was talking to Chad. I was like, when I was here, I don't even think Doug Marrone even knew who I was for 2 years, honestly. It was that kind of vibe. It was just like it wasn't good. It was a bad culture, and you knew when you stepped out on the field, it was like, we're going to lose. It was just terrible. But now it's like, okay, we're here. We got this new facility. We got great players. It's really Doug. Like, when you see Doug leading the way, like, he's a winner, and you want to follow winners. So there's definitely a culture change, but it's time to win. It's time to win. So we can all sense that. And it's weird because last year it was more of like, oh God, we have to win. But now it's like, it's time to win. Everyone's got that look in their eye. Everyone's ready to roll. No one's thinking, and just going out and balling.
As we begin to wrap up, Dewey, you and Devon last year, this year, Tyson, Josh, Trevor, Foye, I mean, rewarding guys in that locker room that have produced on the field. What kind of message does that send to the guys?
It tells you that it's funny because all the guys that get paid are the hardest working guys. Like, I thought I was going to be the last one out of the facility last night, and Foye was just getting into his treatment. D-Ham, Roy. It's like the hardest workers on your team are the guys that get rewarded, and that's what the young guys see. Gabe Davis got paid. He's one of the last ones in and out of there. So that's what the young guys see, and that's what should get rewarded, and those are the guys that do get rewarded. And again, back to culture, that breeds the young guys, and it breeds the next generation, and hopefully just to sustain success. So I think that's what it's attributed to.
Final question, Andrew. Everybody's talking about Houston. Everybody's intrigued with the money Tennessee spent. Anthony Richardson's coming back in Indianapolis, and then there's the Jaguars.
I'll stop you there. Good. We don't need any. Good. Let them have all that. Let them have all the hype. I look back on 22. We were hungry dogs that were out to prove something, so good. That's all I had to say.
You're one of our favorites. We always appreciate you, brother.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
There you go, Andrew Wingard. He was getting fired up when I was rattling off Houston and Tennessee and Indy. I get the sense in talking to the guys early on here in camp that they've heard a lot of that this offseason. And, look, the amazing thing is, if the Jaguars, if everything had remained the same and they found a way to win Week 18 in Nashville last year, they would be the back-to-back AFC South champions. And maybe all the talk about Houston and Indy and all that wouldn't even be transpiring at this point. But that didn't happen. Jacksonville did lose to Tennessee. Houston did win the division, and Houston did win a playoff game. And as a result of that, Houston is getting all that love. Tennessee's getting a lot of love because of the money they spent. Indy is getting love because of Anthony Richardson returning. And Jacksonville, quite frankly, is kind of getting overlooked. But again, as we talked about last night, I think this team feeds off of that. And I can tell you, in talking to some of the guys, including Dewey today, I think that fires them up. Hey, man, whatever fires you up, whatever steams you a little bit, good. Use it. Use it as motivation. Again, thank you to the Jaguar PR staff, as always, for helping us out here on Hacker After Dark by setting up Andrew Dewey Wingard. Walker Little tomorrow. Looking forward to that conversation with the Jacksonville Jaguar offensive tackle. We got a former Jacksonville Jaguar set to join us every week during the regular season. We get Cecil Shorts. He played 4 years here for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Love talking ball with Cecil. Let's talk Jags. Let's talk training camp. But I'm going to ask him about the motivation from that collapse last year. I'm going to ask him, why does it seem early in camp defense is normally ahead of the offense? Because I think that's the case right now for the Jaguars. We're going to get in depth with a former Jaguar, my pal Cecil Shorts. Next, Thursday night, Jacksonville, Florida. You got it right here on Hacker After Dark.
There's a new one-stop shop for all things Florida State. Subscribe to 1010XL Seminoles YouTube channel, up-to-the-minute updates, analysis, and more. Plant the spear and subscribe to 1010XL Seminoles channel today. Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Julington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
Navy Mutual was created by service members for service members, so we know what it means to serve. Our policies have no active duty service restrictions, so you can rest assured that you're covered no matter your duty station, home or abroad. To go even further, we promise that premiums will not be higher for those who serve in dangerous environments, including aviation, diving, or on deployments. Let us help you protect those you love the most. Learn more at NavyMutual.org.
If you are an experienced electrician looking for your next big opportunity, look no further than the Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller Electric, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering you the chance to showcase your skills on a grand scale. We believe in rewarding hard work with the best pay, top-notch benefits, and an unbeatable culture where people actually care about each other. Take your career to new heights with Miller Electric Company. Apply today at millercareers.com. Miller Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
Bueller Air and Plumbing presents
Are You Cool? Today's challenger, a paint color namer from Jacksonville, Florida. Meet Irving Stapler.
Hi, Howie.
So the next round is word association. I'll say a word and you give me the first word you think of. Engagement ring.
Jeweler.
Gas station.
Fueler.
Aaron Burr.
Dueler?
Air conditioning.
Wow. Jeez. That's a toughie.
Come on, Irv. The sponsor's gonna kill me now.
Oh, Bueller.
That's right, Irv. If your AC is struggling through the summer heat, the first name you should think of for fast, friendly, 5-star service is Bueller Air and Plumbing. The name to know to make sure you are cool.
Have a beer, Irv.
Cooler.
Stay cooler with Bueller. Visit BuellerAir.com.
Kicking off a new college football season. ACC kickoff in Charlotte. Hear what the players and coaches have to say. Brought to you by
Salvatore's Pizza at Tapestry Park
and the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Local Union 234. Catch up or listen again
at 1010XL.com.
This is Chelsea with Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors. Here's what people are saying about working with us.
Installers were professional, courteous, and efficient.
Great customer service. On time, explained the process, and walked me through the installation. Amazing team.
Our experience with Renewal by Anderson was outstanding from the beginning to end.
Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit rbafla.com.
License number CGC 1527613.
Renewal by Anderson, custom windows and doors.
Hey, Hicken here, or just call me Danny Dreamfinders. For a limited time, on select move-in ready homes, Dreamfinders Homes is offering an amazing 3.99% interest rate in year one of your mortgage. Now is your chance to lock down the rate. You heard me right. 3.99% offer in year one. Visit DreamfindersHomes.com for sales event information and get the game. Interest rate available on select move-in ready homes. Restrictions and limitations apply. Go to DreamfindersHomes.com for more details.
Now that's what I call high-quality H2O.
If you want high-quality water in your home at a fair price that won't scare you to death, then talk to someone who knows water and is not a pushy salesman. Contact your local water boy, Keith. I install premium equipment and can repair or even rebuild your existing system. In a business known for aggressive sales tactics, let me show you how my approach is different. If you've got any water problems, contact the water boy at waterboyjack.com.
Hicken here for Bow 9 Associates, where you'll find Jacksonville's most esteemed eye doctors at each of their locations. After being selected for one of the most competitive ophthalmology fellowships in the world, Dr. Frank Bowden is frequently called upon for his expert opinion. He is currently one of the few cornea and external disease specialists in the area and the founder of Bow 9. Visit Bow 9 Associates today and experience the difference. Bow 9 Associates, keeping the First Coast focused.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville, and it is hot out there. You know that, Greg, but Honda has a plan for you on or off the road.
They do. There are a ton of Honda scooters, Honda mini motos, great for the beach. Also get you out in the woods with a Honda side-by-side. Plenty to do and stay cool.
Yeah, four-wheelers, and you can trick them out.
We can. From stereo systems to big builds, we do it all.
Everything's there for you to see. CyclesofJacksonville.com online or on Atlantic near Regency. Check out Cycles of Jacksonville.
David Garrard here. Playing in the NFL can put a lot of wear and tear on your body, especially your knees. Southeast Orthopedic Specialist has kept me mobile and ready to tackle every day.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
David Garrard here. I've had the PRP treatment from Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, and my knees are really doing well. Platelet-rich plasma treatment may be the answer for whatever is hurting you.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Garber Auto Mall phone line.
Hello.
We can wiggle it.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. Training camp in full swing. We were down at the Miller Electric Center earlier today. Hard to believe that 1 week from tonight, we will have a preseason football game going on. The Hall of Fame game in Canton, Ohio, and, of course, the Jaguars' first preseason game 16 days away on Saturday, August the 10th. Let's talk Jaguars, and let's look around the rest of the AFC South with my buddy Cecil Shorts. He is a former Jacksonville Jaguar wide receiver, also a former Houston Texan wide receiver, and Cecil joins us weekly during the NFL season, and he's always kind enough to give us some time as well during training camp. Cecil, how you doing, man?
I'm well, brother. Excited. It's football season. Can't believe it's back. It was needed. So I'm just excited, man. It's a great time of year.
It is a great time of year. And a former player such as yourself, I mean, first week of training camp, are the guys excited? Are the juices flowing? What's kind of the emotion right now?
You're super excited. This is when it really counts. This is when it really gets going. This is when you know the season's around the corner. So you're juiced up, you're excited, you're pumped. Then you get even more excited when the pads come out after a couple of days, and probably be some fights out in practice. There'll be some hits going on. It's just so much fun this type of year, man, because it counts. It's the real thing. So leading up to the first preseason game, there's a lot of emotions, a lot of feelings. And it's grind season, man. It's time to really get better, time to really prove yourself on that field and come together as a team to make that run.
Cecil, we had you on right after the draft, and certainly a lot has transpired since then. And look, Joshua Hines-Allen, a brand-new extension. Tyson Campbell, a brand-new extension. Obviously, Trevor Lawrence, a brand-new extension. When you see these guys getting paid, these homegrown drafted players getting paid, what kind of message does that send to the guys in the locker room?
Well, I think Trent's being very clear on what he wants to do. He wants to draft guys. He wants to develop those guys. And if those guys are playing up to their potential or they see something in them, he wants to pay those guys. And with those three signings, that's what the message you're giving. And that's what you should do. You should draft those guys, develop, and they play well, give them what they deserve. I mean, Tyson Campbell's only 24 years old. You know what I mean? Like, Trevor Lawrence is still young. Hines is still young. Like, you got these guys for a long period of time. They're going to be solidified players on your team. So you're doing the right thing by paying them. And it sends a message to everybody in that organization, like, hey, we're going to take care of our guys. And that's a good feeling to have when your term is up and your time is up for that contract extension.
Former Jacksonville Jaguar wide receiver Cecil Shorts here with us on 1010XL. In Jacksonville. Cecil going out there to practice. I've been fortunate enough to go out to OTAs and to minicamp as well. I told fans starting yesterday, you better have one of those depth charts in hand because there's a lot of new guys on this team. You know, when I look at a projected 53-man roster, I think you could have upwards of 15 or 20 new players that were not here in 2023. I mean, training camp is vital for every team. I'm not breaking any news there. But when you have so many new guys, free agents, draft picks, etc., boy, it's a very important month or so here for the Jaguars.
It's important, man, to build that chemistry, continue to build that culture. Guys get to know each other. I think, when you look at different free agents coming in like Mitch Morris, Ronald Darby, taking their experience and having their success other places and bringing it here, getting to know the guys, getting that chemistry with the offensive line, with the DBs, with whoever, whatever position they're playing. It's critical. This month is critical. There's less preseason games now, as we know. So the more practice time they get together, the more time they spend in that field, the more healthy they can be. It's a critical time and critical moments for everybody to continue to build that chemistry and get ready for the season.
A couple of things that have really stood out, and again, we're only 2 days in. They'll be back out there tomorrow morning, and we'll continue to move along here. First preseason game is 2 weeks from Saturday. But a couple of things that have really stood out to me. Number one, the thought of the collapse last year, right? As much as we want to get away from that, and I really want to move on, it keeps getting brought up by the players and by the coaches, the ones that obviously were here and were a part of losing 5 out of 6 to miss out on the playoffs. We think these guys just move on and they put everything in the memory banks and don't forget 6, 7, 8 months ago. But, man, that's not the case. They're using that as fuel, it appears, because they bring it up constantly when we talk to them.
Well, you have to at some point, right? You want to forget about it because it was you started off hot 8-3, one of the most talked about teams in the league, and then things happened. Didn't go your way towards the end. But you got to have, okay, why did that happen? How do we avoid that happening? Where do we struggle when it comes to that? Okay, red zone, we struggled last year. How can we get better at doing that in training camp? How can we fix those areas, right? We have new coordinators. How do we go about what's different about them coming in the season? So you got to really correct those mistakes. You want to forget about it, but also you got to learn from it and be able to move on and correct those areas that you need to improve on moving forward to be successful towards late in the season or the different areas that you struggled in. So I think it's important it's in the back of their mind. But as the new season comes, this is going to be about what can you do better and how can you perform with this new season.
Another thing that's really stood out, and maybe it's along those same lines, is the idea that the next man up needs to be ready. We know the Jaguars were just absolutely annihilated with injuries last year. But the message that Doug Peterson has sent, the message of new D coordinator Ryan Nielsen, and I even heard it today from some of the players. I heard it Darnell Savage yesterday, who wasn't even here last year. I talked to Andrew Wingard today. He basically echoed the sentiment. We got to be prepared. Injuries are a part of the game, and you got to have the next man up mentality. You got to be ready. Maybe the Jaguars, Cecil, weren't as ready for all those injuries last year. They learned from that, and they're using that here in training camp.
I think you saw that when you go out and get a guy like Mac Jones, right? When you go out and get a former first-round pick or former Pro Bowler to be your backup quarterback, 2 guys I believe that were in the same draft class, probably maybe 2 of the best quarterbacks in that class playing together on a team. But your idea, your mindset behind that is, hey, God forbid something happens to our franchise quarterback. We need somebody to step in, and we need to be able to be productive during that time, right? We need somebody to step in and be able to make plays. We need somebody to step in and still produce sacks or still be able to block or still be able to do whatever the case may be. This is the NFL, period. So there's no excuses. Injuries are going to happen. Somebody's going to get hurt. That's just the name of the game. You can't help it. But you got to have depth and guys that know what they're doing, and the coaches got to be confident in calling their name when that time comes. So yes, that's a huge thing moving this into this season. And I expect the depth of the Jacksonville Jaguars all across the board to be much better.
A couple of more for former Jaguar wide receiver Cecil Shorts. Cecil, I always remind you of this. You're still in the top 10 in a lot of stat categories here in Jacksonville at the wide receiver position. You're my guy. I'm going to bring that up as long as you're in that top 10. And so when you look at the wide receiver room, I got a picture last year in August, less than a year ago, and it's a picture of Jamal Agnew, Zay Jones, Calvin Ridley, and Christian Kirk. And I remember thinking at the time, wow, that's a pretty good foursome, right? You could do a lot worse than that. I took a picture earlier this week. Well, Kirk's the only one there, right? Ridley's gone. Zay Jones is gone. Agnew's gone. In comes Gabe Davis. In comes Brian Thomas. In comes Devin Duvernay, a guy from Baltimore that, quite frankly, I don't think people are talking enough about. To me, he's a better version of Jamal Agnew. You played the position in the NFL for 7+ years. Compare and contrast the wide receiver room last year to what the Jaguars have right now.
You got a lot of speed this year, brother. And you got some depth. You got some guys getting older. I wouldn't sleep on a guy comes to mind, Parker Washington.
Yeah.
I know I've been reading some things about him. He's explosive. He's a great athlete. I know he's a shorter stature, kind of similar build to Christian Kirk. Can learn a lot of things from him. But when you look at the speed, when you look at Gabe Davis and Brian Thompson, what is that? Could jump off the board. It jumps fast. It jumps explosive plays. When you look at Christian Kirk, fast, explosive plays. I see more explosive plays happening this year. I think that's the mindset coming to here. Hey, how can we create explosives, which is 20-plus yards down the field? Even looking at Devin Duvernay, who was more of a kick returner specialist, right? Who could come in and do some things in the receiver position, whether it's slot or outside. But he's a fast guy. You know what I mean? He's a guy that's known around the league for his ability to take off on kick returns and be efficient in that level. So when I look at this roster this year, the depth chart would say, it's speed, man. It's speed. Brian Thomas, Gabe Davis, huge guys. Christian Kirk, Parker Washington, a little smaller. Like Elijah Cook's more of a bigger guy. So you have these names, but all of them bring one thing to the table to me. That's explosive plays. So when you look at that room this year, I think that's what the mindset was when creating this receiver room, and that's what they're going to get this year. Explosive plays down the field from a multitude of people. Again, you lived this life for 7 years, and you're still very much part of the NFL and what you do, not only here for us, but I know you do a lot with Houston as well. So let's try not to get too X's and O's for the listeners tonight, but just a basic, entry-level thought here. Is the idea Brian Thomas and Gabe Davis are going to be field stretchers, which will open it up underneath for the likes of Kirk, Ingram, guys of that sort? I would think so. When you look at Gabe Davis and what he's done, number one, he's been clutch. I think you look at the playoff numbers, you look at his yards per catch, him and Thomas both. They're like huge yards per catch guys, right? Guys that can run, bigger guys. You would guess they would be your post runners. They would be your go routes. Those would be your deep comebacks. Those would be your down the field shot guys. And then you'll use Evan Ingram, who had a great season the last two, but last year especially. You use him underneath. You use Christian Kirk, who could still go deep, but he can use him in the slot and go underneath or intermediates, as well as other guys. So I think that's the process. That's the idea behind it, but doesn't mean they can't do other things, right? Doesn't mean you can't use Brian and Gabe in different ways. But I think you'll see. I've not heard good things from you and others about Mr. Thomas so far in OTAs and the first couple days of training camp. But if he can make plays early on, this offense is going to explode. I truly believe that. It's not hard. The more rookies you see nowadays, especially from LSU, but the more rookie receivers you see kind of get involved early, they get comfortable and they make play after play after play after play. So if Brian Thomas gets going early, whether it's simple stuff for him to understand, right, going deep and making plays down the field, it can open up things for everybody else because now you can't focus just on Gabe or Christian or Evan or try to, put guys in the box and stop the run. You have an arsenal of guys that can make plays down the field. Final moments with former Jaguar wide receiver Cecil Shorts. Look, the offense has made plays. There's no doubt. There have been some good moments out there through a couple of practices. But the defense is making plays too, Cecil. And I think today in the red zone in particular, the Jaguar defense was cooking, man. Dewey Wingard had 2 picks off of Trevor Lawrence in the corner of the end zone. So the defense probably won the day, no question. But that's to be expected, right? We always hear the first couple of weeks of training camp, the defense is normally ahead of the offense. My question to you is why is that generally the case? You know what? I still don't have an answer for that. I still try to figure why is defense always ahead. I think it's a simpler game for the defense, just being honest. It's a lot more moving pieces when it comes to the offensive side. And then defense, you're really just trying to stop that particular offense, right? On offense, you got to you're reacting to what's going on the defensive side. You can change the play. You try to get in the best play. You got to execute off of what that particular defensive guy does. So it's harder on the offensive side of the ball. But you're right. The defense gets going early. But that's not a bad thing if you're looking at the Jaguars. You want them to be explosive. Stop the explosive on defense, get to the quarterback, make plays, get interceptions, take the ball away. That's exciting to see. And it's going to only make that offense better for this upcoming season. As we look around the division, look, Houston, obviously the favorite. Heck, they've been in camp over a week. They play a preseason football game next Thursday night
We know about Tennessee and the money they spent. You were teammates with DeAndre Hopkins, right, in Houston. So you got D-Hop, Calvin Ridley, Tyler Boyd, Tony Pollard. They spent $1 billion in free agency. And then Anthony Richardson coming back for Indianapolis. Boy, so this division's been completely transformed. It went from maybe the most boring, uninspiring division a year ago to, dare I say, one of the best divisions in the NFL. If you had to rank it out right now, we won't hold you to it here in late July, but right now, 1 through 4, how do you see things in the South heading into training camp?
I honestly think it's going to be a dogfight. I think it's going to be a lot closer than what people think. And it's going to be fun to watch, like, Anthony Richardson come into his own, right? He's a specimen when you look at him. Extreme athlete. The question is, can he drop back and pass, right? Can he hit the open receiver? Can he read defenses? So with that being said, I think Houston probably is number 1 right now. Jacksonville's number 2. And I think those two will be close battles. And then I think Indy comes at number 3, not too far behind. I say Tennessee is pulling up the rear.
As we wrap up, final question. Look, we'll have you on certainly maybe 1 or 2 more times before the regular season. We'll start our weekly thoughts before Miami on September 8th, which will certainly get here very soon. But in the time in between our conversations, as far as preseason game 1, preseason game 2, what's kind of the mindset? What are you as a veteran looking to accomplish? If you're a young guy, what are you hoping to accomplish, particularly in that first or second preseason game, your first opportunity under the lights in 7 or 8 months?
Number 1, you have to know your assignment, right? So I think that's the biggest thing. Do what your assignment says. Do what you're supposed to be doing. Number 2, whether you're on offense or defense or special teams, you got to be seen. You got to make plays. You got to make sure you're on top of it. You got to make sure you're standing out on film. What are you doing to stand out on film? Maybe that's you covering a kick. Maybe that's making a big tackle. Maybe that's just simply doing what containing the outside, not letting the running back or the receiver get outside of you. Maybe that's just making the catch when they come your way. Maybe if you're a receiver, maybe that's you just killing the blocks. If you're not getting the ball, you're just killing in the blocking game. You have to stand out some type of way, because it's not just that one team that you're playing on for preseason looking at you. It's 31 other teams looking at you as well, because that's going to be a huge cut at the end of the year, and there's going to be tons of shuffling when it comes to players getting cut and going to what team. So you got to make an impact throughout that game to stand out on film, so not just your team, but the 31 other teams can notice you and see you, and you can possibly be on a roster when it comes to week 1.
Number 84 in your program, number 1 in your heart, my buddy Cecil Shorts, former Jaguar, former Texan. Cecil, thank you as always. We'll do it again probably around the time cut day happens. We'll talk to you in about a month, my friend. Really appreciate you.
Anytime, RG. Take care, bro.
Taking calls and taking names.
I want to know who I'm talking to.
Just don't call him names.
That's enough! Why do you guys keep doing that?
Mike Dempsey.
Buenos tardes!
10 to noon weekdays.
Great glorious day.
On 1010XL. Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
Hey there, Weekend Warriors. It's Matt Hayes. Sick of that slice? Tired of those 3 putts? What if I told you your handicap isn't about your swing, it's about your weight? Why not take strokes off your game by taking pounds off your frame with the Waco 180? We're talking 10 strokes off by August, getting your tour card by September, winning your first major, year 1. Think about it. Fame, fortune, and most important, winning $5 off your buddy because you, sir, are closest to the pin. Taking strokes off your game is just about 40 pounds away at Awaken180weightloss.com. Awaken 180 does not guarantee an immediate 10 strokes off your score, receiving a tour card, or the ability to control the weather. Individual results may vary. Your newfound athleticism might cause jealousy among your foursome, leading to accusations of steroid use. Awaken is not responsible for defending your honor in the clubhouse. Awaken 180 cannot guarantee that your newfound golf prowess will lead to a sponsorship deal, but we can't not guarantee it either. Awaken 180 is not responsible for any dramatic fist pumps or unsolicited golf tips you give to strangers. Awaken 180 does not offer refunds for any lost wagers made on your improved golf game. Bet wisely, my friend. Strokes off your game by dropping pounds off your frame. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Rick Ballou for Carlson Dental. You know, I've been telling you this for quite some time because it's true. I hate going to the dentist, or at least I used to hate going to the dentist. I had total anxiety, and then I tried sedation. Light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation as well for cavities and root canals. Folks, it's an incredible experience. So don't be nervous. Don't be scared. Go to CarlsonDentalGroup.com. That's CarlsonDentalGroup.com for all of your dental needs.
Brackish Vodka, the official vodka of UNF Athletics, 100% made in Jacksonville, is available at all local liquor stores. Visit Browdy's, Total Wine, ABC, Shores, Golden, Sahara's, Golden Ox, and more. Drink our gluten-free San Francisco Spirit award-winning vodka and see why it's the smoothest vodka you can buy. When you drink Brackish Vodka, you support all of our local employees and all the money stays in Jacksonville. Drink Brackish Vodka and live life slightly salty. Proud partner of the Jaguars.
Duck Duck Rooter is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and we are looking for top talent to join our team. If you are a plumber, CDL driver, or have experience installing septic drain fields, come join Duck Duck Rooter and let's win together. We offer our players a full package that includes excellent weekly pay, paid holidays, health insurance, and new state-of-the-art equipment. Log on to DuckDuckRooter.com and click on the careers page to apply. That's DuckDuckRooter.com. Duck Duck Rooter is an equal opportunity employer.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for Instant Keys locksmith service.
If your ride is making strange noises, don't wait and make it worse. Come to Action Transmission on Merrill Road. My expert technicians can diagnose the problem and likely fix it fast. Experience the difference at Action Transmission on Merrill Road.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Family owned and managed for 20 years, Hidden Hills Golf Club boasts a unique and welcoming golfing atmosphere. Visit us at hiddenhillsgc.com to book your next round on our Arnold Palmer signature course. You'll be glad you did.
Vegas, baby. This is Taylor Dahl from Helmets and Heels, and we're sending one lucky listener to Circa Resort and Casino this December. Win a free 3-night stay with $200 food and beverage credit, plus a daybed at Stadium Swim. With 6 temperature-controlled pools and a massive 143-foot screen at Circa. You'll huddle up with the Heels at the Overhang Bar for our pregame tailgates on Friday with drink specials and giveaways. For a chance to win this all-in package to Circa with Helmets and Heels, enter at 1010xl.com/Vegas.
And if you've already booked your flight to Vegas for the big game and are still searching for accommodations, Circa Resort and Casino has a special rate just for Jacksonville fans. Mia here, and for just $500, get a 3-night stay at Circa, $200 in food and beverage credit, plus a day bed at Stadium Swim. With 6 temperature-controlled pools and a massive screen, it's the world's largest hot tub party. The all-in package is only available till August 30th, so act now. Book and join the Heels in Vegas. Visit CircaLasVegas.com today.
I'm Jeff Middlecoff with Trustline Mortgage. My business partners, Alan Tyre, Bill Pappas, and Ken Rimley, have been helping first-time homebuyers with their mortgage financing all over Florida for 34 years. First-time homebuyers can get no or low down payments, anywhere from 0 to 3.5% down. As a first-time homebuyer with Trustline Mortgage, you get added benefits for doing your loan with us, like lower rates on your mortgage insurance and lower closing costs. Oh, and did I forget to mention that Trustline gives first-time homebuyers better mortgage interest rates? Here's the bottom line. Trustline Mortgage wants to help first-time homebuyers accomplish your goal of home ownership. That's why Trustline Mortgage is offering the best first-time homebuyer benefits around, period. Trustline Mortgage delivers with no and low down payments, lower closing costs, and better interest rates. Call Trustline Mortgage today at 381-LOAN. Yes, 381-LOAN to find out how we can help you buy your dream home. Or visit our website at TrustlineMortgage.com. Trust your instincts and follow the line to Trustline Mortgage.
Certain restrictions apply. See office for details. Trustline is an equal housing opportunity. MLS number 331480.
Sports fans, JJ LaSalva here. When I need to send my bride flowers or a plant for birthdays or anniversaries, I always go with Hume Flowers. After all, they've been the leading florist in these parts for over 75 years. You can always rely on Hume Flowers.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Halftime, Hacker After Dark, 1 hour down, 1 hour to go. We'll take you up till 10 o'clock tonight, as we do each and every night, right here on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM. Coming up in less than 15 minutes, my buddy Leon Searcy. You hear him every day on prime time. You get him weekly during the football season here on Hacker After Dark. And soon, you'll get Leon with myself and the head coach Dave Campo on the 5th quarter, which makes its return Sunday, September 8th, We'll have Leon on to look back on the offseason that was and the training camp that will be here in Jacksonville. Later on in the 9 o'clock hour, Jordan Dejani of CBSSports.com. Jordan's kind of the AFC South guy, if you will, for CBSSports.com. So we'll talk Jags, but we'll certainly talk Houston, Tennessee, and Indianapolis as well with Jordan Dejani. That comes up in less than 35 minutes or so. I want to get back into the Jaguars in a moment, but luckily this morning before I went down to training camp, and boy, the Jaguars have it scheduled early. I'm usually leaving the house around 7:15. So I was up really early this morning. And, you know, the opening ceremonies for the Paris Olympics are tomorrow night. But the Olympics have already started. There's already been rugby. There's been soccer. I mean, there's Olympics. The Summer Olympics are going on prior to the opening ceremony. I've always been a Summer Olympics guy, really a Winter Olympics guy, too. I love the competition, the sports that, quite frankly, we're just not used to watching. Denmark, I embrace it, man. I get into it. It's only every 4 years. I mean, I wouldn't watch this stuff every week or every month, but every 4 years, yeah, I'll give it a couple of weeks. So this morning I found myself locked in to the Netherlands and Angola in women's handball. Men's handball starts up tomorrow. We got indoor volleyball. We got beach volleyball. Beach volleyball, by the way, they've built that stadium like right outside the Eiffel Tower. So the Eiffel Tower's in the background as you're watching beach volleyball. Obviously, I'll be very interested in the basketball team. You got baseball, softball, gymnastics, swimming, and track. It goes without saying. I found myself 4 years ago, or I guess 3 years ago, watching the trampoline competition, and I had no idea what trampoline was, nor did I understand why you would get a gold medal for trampoline, but I figured it out pretty quick because that is crazy what some of those people do. I mean, they're doing 30, 40 feet in the air, 6, 7, 8 flips, landing on their feet in the middle of the trampoline. It is wild. Should it be in the Olympics? I don't know, but it's absolutely incredible to watch. So, yeah, I'm into it, man. I'm already watching it. Opening ceremonies tomorrow night. Denmark, I know you're a track guy. I know you will be locked into that. Aside from track, does the Summer Olympics do anything for you?
No, I mean, high school football starts Monday. I'm kind of tuned into that. I mean, it's one of those things where, like, you know, Team USA's playing basketball, and then you find out they're in a close game on Twitter, then you tune in. That's probably how it's going to be for me with gymnastics and swimming. I'll find out that they're playing, like, the moment of or right before, and then I'll probably turn it on. But I wouldn't say it's appointment television for me other than the track.
The beauty thing for us and what we do here in the East Coast, Hacker After Dark, is obviously nothing's going to be happening live in Paris while we're on. All the stuff will be happening, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock Eastern before we come on. So I'll be able to watch it, and I won't give spoilers away, or at least I'll try not to, because they're going to have to air it, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock on the East Coast, but it certainly won't be live. But, yeah, I'm into the Summer Olympics, man. I will certainly give it a look, no question about that. But that's going to be the secondary story for the next couple of weeks. The primary story is, of course, the Jacksonville Jaguars. 2 days of training camp in the books. They'll be right back out there tomorrow and Saturday before an off day on Sunday. Still not exactly sure when the pads are coming on. I would guesstimate the pads are going to come on Monday, would be my initial thoughts. Maybe Saturday, but I doubt it. I would think Monday is probably what we're looking at. So until the pads come on, obviously it is what it is. But good day for the defense. We talked to Andrew Wingard earlier. He had a couple of interceptions off of Trevor Lawrence in the red zone. Keep in mind, Ronald Darby yesterday had an interception, I believe, also off of Trevor. So Trevor is not off to the greatest start. Now, is that a Trevor issue? Is that an offense as a whole issue? That's where I tend to lean more. Defenses are normally ahead of offenses this time of year. And clearly, yesterday and today, the Jaguar defense was ahead of the Jaguar offense. But I look at that offense. I'm not too worried 2 days into training camp. I absolutely love ETN. Tank Bigsby, I think, is going to have a much better year. The wide receiver room, I've told you guys, I think it's better than what it was a year ago, even without Calvin Ridley. I think the combination of Christian Kirk, Gabe Davis, Brian Thomas, Devin Duvernay, and Parker Washington, I think you can do a lot of stuff with those guys. And then, of course, you factor in one of the top 5 tight ends in the league in Evan Ingram. I am very confident that if the offensive line, and that's a big if, right? If the offensive line gives you time, that you're going to be able to do some stuff on offense. What we learned last year and what we already knew is it doesn't matter how good your quarterback or wide receivers are. If you get injuries and you have an offensive line that can't block, nothing else really matters. So it all comes down to the offensive line. But I'm of the opinion the offensive line has improved. Cam Robinson, again, is there a competition between he and Walker Little? I don't know. I think potentially there could be. But obviously Mitch Morse, Ezra Cleveland's had an entire offseason here. Anton Harrison in year 2. Brandon Sheriff is healthy right now. I'm very confident in what is going on the Jaguar offense, despite the fact that the defense has won the first 2 training camp practices. Jordan Dejani, CBSSports.com. He comes up in about 30 minutes. Coming up next, my buddy Leon Searcy, former Pro Bowl offensive tackle for the Jacksonville Jaguars. He is the final stop. He is number 32. We've previewed all 8 divisions. We've previewed 31 teams with 31 different guys in 31 different markets over the last 2 months. We always end with the Jaguars, of course, and we'll do that next with my buddy Leon Searcy. A Thursday night in Jacksonville, and we're glad you're with us right here, Hacker After Dark on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Where electrifying moments come to life.
Inside of a minute to play.
And legendary performances live.
A monumental milestone in a legendary career.
1010XL. The power of Jacksonville Sports Radio.
Jenkins Genesis of Northeast Florida is coming soon and now hiring for technicians, sales, and all positions. If you or someone you know are looking for a new opportunity, apply online at genesisnortheastjacksonville.com. Equal opportunity employer.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out heart-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance. And you better watch out, because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, they'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
1010XL Weekly is out now. Mia here, and text the word weekly to subscribe to our new 1010XL newsletter and for a chance to win Jaguars and concert tickets. Get an inside look at local sports, trending players, station info, and chances to win prizes all year long.
Dave and Ammon here with Zero Res. So Ammon, you have worked for Zero Res since you were 9 years old. What makes Zero Res the right choice for cleaning carpets and tile?
I can think of 3 simple reasons. We have the best process, the best people, and our promise to do the best cleaning possible every time.
So what deals does Zero Res offering for this month?
July is National Carpet Cleaning Month. So for home carpet cleaning, we're offering $49 per room, and for businesses, we're offering 20% off.
Sounds like a great time to get your carpets cleaned. Zero Res.
Spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
Zero Res.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On July 25th, 1956, Pittsburgh Pirates' Roberto Clemente hits MLB's first and only walk-off inside the park grand slam for a 9-8 win over the Chicago Cubs.
Enjoy the thrill of the grill at John Smith Subs with specialty subs like the Steak Bomb, the Gator, plus a full lineup of cold and hot deli subs, including the best Cuban and Duval. Bring your big mouth to John Smith Subs on Hodges and JTB.
Soccer fans, don't miss your chance to see teams from the English Premier League compete in the Stateside Cup right here in Jacksonville. Competition will be fierce when Wolves and West Ham United take the pitch under the lights at Everbank Stadium July 27th. It's Premier Soccer at a premier venue for one night only. Tickets are going fast. Buy yours today at statesidecup.com.
Does the building you go to work in every day need a little love and attention? Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Great companies take great care of the buildings their staff and customers walk into every day. If the building you're in doesn't match the vision you have for your company, we can help. Go to performance-painting.com. Our highly trained team makes the difference. Quality coatings applied with pride.
Performance Painting.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. You know, pool design has come a long way, and if your pool is outdated, Stanley Pools specializes in bringing older pools up to date for the whole family to enjoy. That's why I did it a few years ago, and man, I love the way my pool looks now after we added travertine pavers and so much else. Stanley Pools has been serving our community since 1988, so call them today at 269-7277 or find them online at stanleypoolsfl.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
Navy Mutual was created by service members for service members, so we know what it means to serve. Our policies have no active duty service restrictions, so you can rest assured that you're covered no matter your duty station, home or abroad. To go even further, we promise that premiums will not be higher for those who serve in dangerous environments, including aviation, diving, or on deployments. Let us help you protect those you love the most. Learn more at NavyMutual.org.
Price, I'm thinking about changing my name.
Again? You're already the media mogul, the straw that stirs the drink, the Duke of Pablo Bay. Now what?
Refer to me as Dreamfinders Danny Hicken.
What in the blazes? Is this a cash grab?
No, it's just that I believe so much in Dreamfinders Homes. 20 locations in Northeast Florida, official home builder of Jags and Gators. Great opportunity for first-time homeowners.
All right. Dreamfinders Danny it is.
Did I mention the lowest interest rates you can find? Visit DreamfindersHomes.com. Now let Dreamfinders Danny celebrate through the majesty of song. Dreamfinders,
oh, brother.
I believe they will build your home just right.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville, and now that you have Honda boats on the showroom floor, tell them about the big boat sale.
We are excited. We got a big sale, 11th through 13th. You want to come on down, see us in person. Some of our boats are going to be up to 30 grand off.
Up to 30 grand off?
30,000 in savings. It's a big sale event.
So they can start shopping online at cyclesofjacksonville.com. The size of the boats?
Anywhere from 19 to 24 foot, all with legendary Honda outboards.
Honda and Coach, check them both out on Atlantic near Regency. Cycles of Jacksonville.
For any urological concerns, let Ackerman Urology be your trusted partner in men's health. With offices from Amelia Island to World Golf Village, they treat bladder conditions, elevated PSAs, and ED. Visit AckermanUrology.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Garber Auto Mall phone line.
Hello.
We can wiggle it.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. Well, we started our NFL division previews back on May the 28th up in Buffalo. And since that time, we have hit 31 different NFL markets over the last 2 months. Tonight, we finish here on the home front talking about your Jacksonville Jaguars with my buddy Leon Searcy. He is a former Pro Bowler. Of course, you hear him every day on XL Primetime. He is a social media star after what happened last week with the jersey release. And Leon joins us here on Hacker After Dark. Leon, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great.
Leon, last week, did you have any idea that was going to take off like it did?
No, I had no idea. Listen, I enjoyed the shooting. I enjoyed the setting, the storylines. young cats, old benches. So you know what I felt like? I felt like the Chinese Man in Gremlins. Remember that movie? That's what I felt like. But no, it came over well. I think everybody responded well to the throwback jersey. Everybody was really excited about it. I was happy to see them. And hopefully we can bring back a little bit of that Jaguar magic to this season.
Yeah, I'll give Andre Sisco and Tyson Campbell credit. I thought they did pretty well in that video, too. That was a great video all the way around. Of course, the throwbacks fans are unbelievably fired up. And Leon fans are unbelievably fired up about training camp, man. It has opened this week. Before we look ahead, let's take a look back. Just your thoughts on the offseason. I mean, you being a player here, you living here now, being in the media, I think it's maybe the most consequential offseason in Jaguar history, from re-signing Joshua Hines-Allen to re-signing Trevor Lawrence to all the free agent acquisitions, the city council approving the stadium of the future. I mean, what a 6 months it has been.
Yeah, it's been, it's been a very interesting 6 months. First and foremost, I think getting the approval to renovate the stadium, man, that was absolutely a plus, because that says that the Jaguars are going to be here for at least the next 30 years. So that was outstanding. As far as free agency goes, I think, I like to wait and see first. I believe the Jaguars had a successful offseason as far as free agency, when they addressed some attention, some needs in the secondary, in the defensive front, the offensive line. I want to see how those acquisitions transition with the new team. We did well. I think we did pretty well in the draft, getting the guys that we needed. Still thought that we needed another offensive lineman, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, this is an exciting point of the year. Training camp, veterans start coming in today. We start practice on Wednesday. This is all about the grind now. So I'm super excited by what the Jaguars have done this offseason, and look forward to them moving forward into the season.
Leon, you and I haven't spoke since Trevor Lawrence got his new extension, 5+ years. He's really under contract now for the next 7 seasons. A lot of money, no question. Your reaction to that contract?
Well, I mean, listen, I can relate to what Trevor's going through, to be quite honest with you. When I signed with the Jaguars in 1996, I was the highest paid offensive lineman in the history of the NFL. I know what comes with the expectations when you get paid that kind of money. Whatever expectations you have for yourself, you have to exceed those in the public eye. For you personally, you just got to be about the business of ball. You've got to play at an elite level week in and week out. I remember one time in 96, when we were struggling a little bit, I remember TC called me in his office and he asked me, "Hey, Leon, how you think you're playing this year?" And I said, "Well, I wasn't going to say I was playing great. We were 3-6. I said, "I'm playing average." He said, "Yeah, we didn't pay you to play average." So, I mean, those type of expectations for Trevor, the last year, he's going to have to exceed that, not only for himself, but the public perception of paying him that kind of money, to see if he justifies it.
Former Jaguar Pro Bowl offensive tackle Leon Searcy here with us. Of course, you get him every day on Prime Time, and soon you'll get Leon every week here on Hacker After Dark. Leon, I know you, myself, the head coach Dave Campo are getting back together for the 5th quarter this year. Certainly excited about that. And that brings us to training camp. Practices have begun. The season is underway for all intents and purposes. The first week of camp, no pads yet. That'll happen next week. But the first 2, 3, 4 practices of camp, for veterans, for rookies, what's it like right now?
Really, to be honest with you, I'm not sure the format of how they're going to run practice. I'm not sure if they're going to be in pads the first week. Probably more so, they probably won't. They probably getting the pads probably starting in the weekend. So they getting the guys acclimated, of getting back into the routine of waking up, going to meetings, lifting weights, getting on the practice field, intensity. Everybody's giving great effort. Those type of things. But I think it's going to ramp up. I mean, the competitiveness is going to ramp up, because a lot of these guys, want to keep their jobs, and a lot of guys want to take some jobs. So competition is always great when it comes to football. You don't ever want to feel comfortable. So if you feel threatened by your job, might ramp up the intensity level of how you practice and how you prepare for practice. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to it being ramped up. I mean, this close to the season, you're talking about the season opener September the 8th in Miami. Right now you're in preparation for the season opener. So a lot of the game plan going in is going to be getting these guys ready and prepared with all the information that they're going to need come September 8th when they play the Dolphins.
Leon, let's talk about your bread and butter, the offensive line. Look, I've been under the impression the entire offseason, Cam Robinson, Ezra Cleveland, Mitch Morse, Brandon Sheriff, Anton Harrison. The more people I've talked to as we've approached camp, Walker Little may have something to say about that at left tackle. Do you believe there is going to be a competition, Robinson versus Little, for that spot?
Well, I hope so. And Walker Little is in a situation, he's in a conundrum, to be quite honest with you. I mean, if I'm his agent, I'm telling him to go out there and compete like hell. But if he doesn't get the starting position at left tackle, let's just be honest. I mean, Cam's the favorite right now. I think even Trevor feels a lot more secure with Cam on his backside than Walker Little. He may not admit it, but he probably does. So if I'm Walker Little, I'll have to be in a situation, if I give him my all at this camp, I get the starting position, he's got to make a decision. I mean, does he want to be a swing tackle at his young age, or does he want to go and get elite money? I mean, it might be a situation where Walker asks for a trade or move somewhere else where he feels that he has a competitive edge to compete and win the left tackle position, because he's too young, too talented, too big to be somebody's a swing tackle. He could be a solid left tackle with any other team in professional football right now.
I look at that offensive line, Leon, as a whole, and look, when injuries happen to the O-line, you got problems, right? I'm not saying the Jaguars wouldn't have problems, but you could do an awful lot worse than Walker Little and Luke Fortner as offensive linemen 6 and 7. And you throw in a Tyler Shatley, you throw in a Foster, the rookie out of Missouri, the 4th-round pick. They love Cooper Hodges. I mean, there appears to be the first time in a while some pretty good depth on that O-line.
Yeah, it appears to be. I mean, those names sound good, but you hope like hell that don't nobody on the offensive line get hurt, because, I mean, in my opinion, the quality of depth is not as I would like to see. Now, don't get me wrong, Shatley's been around here for a long time. Foster's still unproven, not sure what he's going to be able to do. Fortner was replaced this offseason because of his terrible play at center. And then you got Walker Little, who if he doesn't win the position, has to make a determination of whether he's going to stick around, or move somewhere else. So that's why in the draft, I know we got Foster in the 4th round. He's more of he played left tackle at Missouri. He'd be a swing guy for both, whoever starts at left tackle. But interiorly, I'm a little concerned if somebody goes down that I just don't feel comfortable with what happens interiorly if one of the starters goes down.
Couple of more for former Jaguar Pro Bowl offensive tackle Leon Searcy. Leon, the wide receiver position will be the position I think the fans are going to be watching the most this week, and certainly when the pads begin coming on in the weeks ahead. And look, last year, there's only one guy left, right? Last year you had Christian Kirk, Zay Jones, Calvin Ridley, and Jamal Agnew. And now Christian Kirk's still here, but in comes Brian Thomas, in comes Gabe Davis, in comes Devin Duvernay. I think Parker Washington will have a bigger role, certainly. What do you think about that wide receiver room and comparing it to what they had a year ago?
Well, I mean, you would think that they're faster. I think the Jaguars are trying to go for more speed, more big plays down the field, being a vertical league that we have right now. Or he wants guys that can get the yak yardage. I mean, a lot of those guys that you mentioned are just speedsters. I think the guys last year outside of Calvin Ridley were big body wide receivers that you can get the ball to in the end zone, doing the red zone. But I think these guys are just elite speed. All those guys that you named, they're breakaway guys. Brian Thomas coming out of LSU, 17 touchdowns, running 4.3. I mean, he's going to be asked to have a big role this year because he's going to be a rookie. He's going to have to take the top off the defenses, by some of his route running. So, and then you just hope Christian Kirk. I mean, you could tell how devastated this team was offensively when he went down. So you hopefully that he stays healthy because he's the guy with the most experience on the team, outside of Gabe Davis, who played at Buffalo, of course. But yeah, he's got to stay healthy. So I'm excited by it. There should be some confidence. I think in our minds, we know who the three are. So the other guys are going to be competing probably for that fourth and fifth spot if they keep that many receivers around.
Leon, as we begin to wrap up, the defensive side of the ball, look, you blocked and you played against some of the best D linemen ever in the NFL when you think about your great career over a decade in the league. And when you look at Joshua Hines-Allen, he got paid in a big way. I thought Trayvon Walker, amidst that collapse last year at the end, really started coming on with his sack production, certainly. You bring in Eric Armstead. But to me, Devon Hamilton might be the key to the whole thing. When Devon Hamilton was right in 2022, the Jaguar defensive line was right. When Devon Hamilton was never right last year with the injury that he had at the beginning of the season, that played a huge role in, I think, some of the Jaguar issues on defense. So as much as I love 41 and 44 and they're going to get all the acclaim, I'm really interested to see a guy like Devon Hamilton here as camp opens up.
Yeah, it was that team down the stretch, let you down, to be quite honest with you. They were manhandled by a very average team, to be quite frank. So yeah, Devon Hamilton, he's a plug-in. He's the guy that plays the one. He's the nose guard. He's there to be aggressive, interactive, make plays on the run game and the pass play, push the pocket, that kind of stuff. So, that was thoroughly missed last year, So it's very important that you keep that centerpiece, healthy. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this defense is going to play. Because like you said, when he was there, his defense was rock solid. So you could tell that he was another key component for the defense in this unraveling down the stretch last year.
Leon, as we say goodbye, look, the Jaguars, there was a ton of turnover on the roster. You think of free agency. You think of the draft. If you do a projected 53-man roster right now, you're talking 15, maybe upwards of 20 guys that are new, that were not here in 2023. The Jaguars play the Miami Dolphins in less than 50 days. Training camp is vital for every team, no question about that. But it's really vital for this team. Plus, you throw in basically a whole new defensive staff. This thing has to gel pretty quick before that trip to South Florida, Sunday, September 8th.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But that's what training camp is for. Training camp is meant to be tough and physical and hard, because then you find out who can weather the storm, and those who can't, get left behind. I hated training camp. I hated every part about being training camp. But I knew it was the necessary means to the end, because I knew that I had to get my body and my mind, my spirit acclimated to the long haul of the NFL season. And it's a long haul. So training camp is supposed to equip you mentally and physically and spiritually for what's up, what's coming about. That's what's so refreshing about it, because training camp is going to implement stuff in you that you didn't know you had until it gets to game time. The intensity, the competition, the war of wheels, the adversity, all those kind of things are all nestled in training camp. And those who embrace it, don't try to fight it. It wins every time. Just embrace it and learn from it, and you'll be ready. Be ready to rock and roll when the season comes about.
You might have hated training camp, but you were always very cool about signing autographs for Little Hack back in the day when I was 12, 13 years old, so I always appreciated that.
Well, Serge loved the kids, bro.
That's exactly right. Hey, as we say goodbye, final question. Fans are going to be out at the Miller Electric Center this week. Fans are going to be out there really for the next month. What are you going to be watching? What should they be watching for? Give the fans something to key in on when they're out there at the Miller Electric Center.
Well, just watch them compete. Just watch them compete. That's the fan. What's very interesting about training camp that that is fan friendly now. You know, a lot of fans, when they come and cheer us on Sundays, most of the time don't get the of what we have to go about to actually go out there and perform, and that's what we're doing. You know, so I think it's pretty cool that the fans get to see the intensity level, the competition, the endurance, the adversity that all these players are going to go through, you know, so they can perform on Sunday. So that's the cool thing about it, that the fans get, you know, behind the scenes of what it really is to be an NFL football player.
You get Leon Searcy every day on XL Primetime. Of course, a former Pro Bowler right here in Jacksonville, and very soon, the fifth quarter, Sunday evenings with myself, the head coach Dave Campo, and the Pro Bowler Leon Searcy. Leon, I'll see you out there at camp. Thank you as always, pal.
You got it, bro.
Ready to ride, guys? Driving all over Duval with sports talk made just for Jacks.
Fasten your seatbelt.
This is 1010XL.
Baloo here for Smoonez Vision. Why Smoonez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smoonez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smoonez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smoonez is fellowship-trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmoonezVision.com today. Care you can see.
Bueller Air and Plumbing presents Are You Cool?
Today's challenger, a paint color namer from Jacksonville, Florida. Meet Irving Stapler.
Hi, Howie.
So the next round is word association. I'll say a word and you give me the first word you think of. Engagement ring.
Jeweler.
Gas station.
Fueler.
Aaron Burr.
Dueler?
Air conditioning.
Wow. Jeez. That's a toughie.
Come on, Irv. The sponsor's going to kill me now.
Oh, Bueller. That's right, Irv. If your AC is struggling through the summer heat, the first name you should think of for fast, friendly, 5-star service is Bueller Air and Plumbing. The name to know to make sure you are cool.
Have a beer, Irv.
Cooler. Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Have you tried golfing at the improved Cimarron Golf Club? If you haven't, tell you what, you're missing out on the best deal in Jacksonville. Now, many of you have received a postcard in the mail, and of course, if you bring that with you, $45 plus tax to play. That includes a cart, lunch, and a beer at the brand new Stone Barrel Tap House. Now, go to the website, that is CimarronGolfClub.com, and sign up for the Wild One Loyalty Program. That's the Wild One Loyalty Program, and get all of these specials emailed to you from Cimarron.
Get your first look at the team inside Everbank Stadium during our 2024 stadium practice Saturday, August 3rd. The season is almost here. Don't miss your chance to see the players up close before they take the field this fall. Stadium practice is free to attend, and seats are going fast, so register for tickets at jaguars.com/training camp. We can't wait to see you there.
We could call them helmets and cleats, but they don't wear cleats.
Those shoes are hot.
Mia O'Brien, Lauren Brooks, and Taylor Dahl.
From the First Coast Lighting Studios at 1010XL.
Weekdays noon to 2.
You think you could join us?
Make sure your roof is ready for the next Florida storm by scheduling a free roof inspection with Universal Roof and Contracting. Save up to $1,250 on your roof replacement, plus flexible financing up to 15 years. Offer expires July 31st. Restrictions apply. Call 1-855-ROOF-HELP or click universalroof.com.
License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
The coolest thing going on right now is the Summer Fan Sale with 3 ways to save at First Coast Lighting and Fans. Browse their huge selection of high-quality fans to match your desire for elegance, quality, and uniqueness. Buy 1 fan, save 10%. Buy 2, save 15%. Buy 3 or more and save 20% off summer pricing on all fans. Visit their showroom near the avenues while inventory is still available and discover the difference that locally owned expertise makes at First Coast Lighting and Fans.
This is Hayes Carline for Kingfish Pest Control, a local family-owned business that's been chosen as the exclusive pest control provider for the brand new state-of-the-art Miller Electric Performance Center. As a Kingfish customer myself, I know their effectiveness in keeping spiders, roaches, bugs, and termites out. When I trust them for my family and the Jags trust them for their business, then you can too. For the best service in town, call my friends at Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Instant Keys saves the day if you have lost or broken keys. They can program new keys and remotes for nearly every make and model of vehicle at a fraction of the dealership cost. Fast, honest, and reliable locksmith service. Call 722-1111.
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's Catlin Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Catlin is the name you can count on. This is Keith Catlin, and we know trucks and vans too, from Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, roll and lock bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality product and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Catlin.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
For 105 years, you can count on Catlin.
Has someone you care about been arrested or had their driver's license taken away? I'm Susan Cohen, and I work with David Robbins at the law firm of Epstein & Robbins. We are experienced fighters for those charged with DUI, domestic violence, and all criminal offenses. In your battle with the justice system, there's only one thing you need to know. Dial David 24/7 at Epstein & Robbins, 354-5645. 354-5645.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Garber Auto Mall phone line.
Hello.
We can wiggle it.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville, we are glad you are with us as training camps opening up all over the National Football League. That includes right here in Jacksonville, and what an off season it was for the Jaguars. Contract extensions all over the place, including the most recent one of Jaguar cornerback Tyson Campbell. Let's talk about all of it, and let's look around the rest of the AFC South with my buddy Jordan DeJani, CBSSports.com. He's always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL in Jacksonville. Jordan, how you doing?
Ryan, my man, what's going on? Thanks for having me on the show. I am excited. The summer break was certainly relaxing, but I am ready for some football. So excited to get out there on the practice field here in Nashville. Excited for training camp to open up, and I'm excited to talk about all that is going on around the AFC South.
Yeah, no question, man. We certainly appreciate your time. Know it's about to be very busy. And look, let's begin right here in Jacksonville. Quickly, the news earlier this week, Tyson Campbell, a brand new 4-year deal that adds to the Trevor Lawrence extension, the Joshua Hines-Allen extension, the Foye Oluokun extension. The Jaguars certainly gave out some money here in the last few months.
Yeah, rewarding their homegrown talent, which I think is important for any franchise when it comes to morale in the locker room. It sends a message that if you perform as a legitimate starter, then you're going to get rewarded. So looking at this deal at face value, for the Jaguars, right? 4 years, $70.5 million. That new AAV of $19.1 million makes Campbell the 7th highest paid cornerback in the league right now, which is pretty good because he wasn't pushing for top 5 or top 3 money. $53.4 million effectively guaranteed. And as Ian Rappaport of NFL Media noted, Tyson Campbell is now the highest paid cornerback in NFL history that has not made a Pro Bowl. And this new contract just barely surpasses what L'Jarius Sneed of the Tennessee Titans got earlier this offseason. He got a 4-year, $76.4 million deal. So a good deal for Tyson Campbell, and I think it was overall a good deal for Jacksonville as well.
You know, Jordan, you alluded to it just then. There was a long period here, almost a decade, where the Jaguars just simply didn't re-sign their draft picks because of the horrible job that Dave Caldwell did drafting Gene Smith as well. But now you look at the extensions for Joshua Hines-Allen, Tyson Campbell, Trevor Lawrence. I would imagine sooner rather than later, guys like ETN and Cisco are also going to get extended, keeping that homegrown talent. Shad Khan, the owner, said earlier this offseason, we can't make a living out of bringing in free agents. You've got to develop the guys you're drafting, and finally that's starting to happen here in Jacksonville.
Yeah, I really do think it's kind of the formula to success in the NFL in a way, right? If you hit on talent, then you need to pay the talent, because these guys aren't free agents coming over, switching schemes, switching teams, switching conferences, switching divisions. These are guys who came into the league only knowing that franchise, maybe only knowing that head coach or knowing that coordinator. This is what I'm talking about when it comes to legitimate homegrown talent. So I think Jacksonville, going by their owner's words that you just alluded to, they're trying to stick to the script when it comes to how they want to build on this culture of success they are trying to construct. So I think they're doing a good job with the draft picks that they've made that have worked out so far on the field.
Jordan Dejani of CBSSports.com. All right, training camp here in Jacksonville. A lot of newness, Jordan. I mean, look, when I did my initial 53-man roster thoughts a week or so ago, I got upwards of 15 or 20 guys that are going to be new on this roster that were not here in 2023. We'll get to the individual aspects of that in a moment, but when you have that much newness on a team, obviously training camp is vital, and it's got to happen quick, right? That Miami opener is less than 50 days away, so a very important time here in Jacksonville as camp opens up.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree with that for sure. I mean, training camp isn't exactly won Super Bowls are won or lost, but at the same time, when you have a lot of newness, whether it's coordinators, whether it's starters, this is when you figure out, if you're a reporter, who is exactly going to make an immediate impact for this new look team. And, I'm really fascinated by the Jaguars' defensive side of the ball, if you will. I mean, they have a new defensive coordinator in Ryan Nielsen, who I've told you, Ryan, I think it was a great pickup, because in his first season with the Falcons as their defensive leader in 2023, the Falcons improved from 27th to 11th in total defense, and they also doubled their sack total from the previous season as well. So maybe the Jaguars didn't make a ton of splash moves on that side of the ball. We know that they picked up Eric Armstead, but they have a new leader who I think is going to be important when it comes to, solidifying their identity on that side of the ball at the very least. I mean, we're also talking about the draft picks being the rookies people are excited to see. Is Brian Thomas Jr. going to be that immediate impact type of pass catcher that Jags fans envisioned when he was selected in the first round? What is his early, training camp chemistry with quarterback Trevor Lawrence look like? Is he going to be someone who is capable of stepping up and being that potential leading receiver for Jacksonville as well? So training camp, it's always an exciting time, right?
There's no question it is, and you alluded to Brian Thomas just then. Look, the wide receiver room here in Jacksonville is completely different. This time a year ago, it was Calvin Ridley, Christian Kirk, Zay Jones, Jamal Agnew. 75% of those guys are now gone. Out goes Agnew, Ridley, and Jones. In comes Davis from Buffalo. You mentioned Brian Thomas. I'll lump Devin Duvernay in there from Baltimore as the new Jamal Agnew, if you will. Jordan, pros, cons, compare and contrast last year's Jaguar wide receivers to what they have this year.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to say. With Christian Kirk, he's going to be your solidified number one, you would imagine. Gabe Davis, I mean, he's someone I like, but I don't think he's someone who I would compare to a Calvin Ridley, for example. He's not the most prolific route runner in the NFL, but he is a legitimate deep ball threat, which should be exciting for Trevor Lawrence. Brian Thomas Jr., as I talked about, he's certainly probably the one wideout you can get most excited about, have the most optimism for. I mean, he was a second-team All-SEC player last year, and he led the entire FBS with 17 touchdowns. That's the fifth most in a single season in SEC history. He scored a touchdown every 4 passes he caught in college football. He's a legitimate deep ball weapon that people are hyped for. But, you also bring up the rotation at large. And if we're talking about training camp battles in Jacksonville, I think I'm a little fascinated by how exactly this rotation is going to be. You could make the argument that you have your solidified top 3, but then you have Devin Duvernay, who's probably going to make the roster. But Parker Washington, Elijah Cooks, Joshua Cephas, Brevin Easton, all these guys are fighting for legitimate roster spots. So that'll be another interesting thing to watch in Jacksonville.
A couple more for Jordan Dejani of CBSSports.com. Jordan, when you lump in Travis Etienne, obviously Evan Ingram, do you think they have enough talent at the skill position surrounding Trevor Lawrence?
I do, especially if they really hit on Brian Thomas Jr., and he's a rookie who's going to make an immediate impact. Then I think you can make the argument that they do, because Travis Etienne Jr. is one of the more underrated running backs in the league, who's a dual threat ball carrier and pass catcher. Trevor Lawrence, if he can remain healthy, I think is a quarterback who at this point's a little bit underrated. That's a big reason he earned that contract extension he did this offseason. But if you have your legitimate top two wideouts, and Christian Kirk, Brian Thomas Jr. on the outside, Gabe Davis is someone who can be that deep ball threat. Evan Ingram, as we already know, is one of the more versatile tight ends in the league. Then, yeah, I think you can make the case that the Jaguars have enough talent on the offensive side of the ball.
Jordan, let's look around the division a little bit. Let's begin up in Tennessee and Nashville. And look, they spent $1 billion, right? They had a lot of money to spend, and they spent it. Obviously, Calvin Ridley, Tony Pollard, Tyler Boyd, guys that really, I think, are going to make a big impact. You mentioned L'Jarius Sneed, Chidobe Awuzie, Kenneth Murray, Lloyd Cushenberry. I mean, it is a new look Tennessee Titans football team, a brand new head coach as well. What is the thought in Nashville as the Titans kick off camp this week?
Well, you talk to fans around Nashville, they would make the argument to you that this was the most exciting offseason in Tennessee Titans franchise history, which is certainly a statement. But I think the biggest headline is how exactly is second-year quarterback Will Levis going to look? Because apart from the fact that the Titans upgraded on both sides of the ball this offseason, I think the main storyline is that they really put their young quarterback in position to prove if he can be a franchise quarterback in what will be his first full season as an NFL starter. I mean, they got a new running back in Tony Pollard who replaces Derrick Henry. All of a sudden, they have one of the best wide receiver trios in the NFL. DeAndre Hopkins, former Jag Calvin Ridley, Tyler Boyd, who knows how deep it can get with former first-round pick Treylon Burks. They revamped the offensive line with a new left tackle, a new center. It remains to be seen who the starters are going to be on the right side of the ball. But all notwithstanding, the Titans have set up their quarterback in position to prove if he can be a legitimate NFL signal caller. And they also got him an offensive-minded head coach in Brian Callahan, who has a great history of working with and even developing some of the best quarterbacks in the NFL with Peyton Manning, Matthew Stafford, Derek Carr, Joe Burrow. So that's the main storyline here in Nashville, is how crisp does Will Levis look? Can he be an NFL star?
Jordan, when we go to Indianapolis, look, they were basically a fourth down drop away from maybe winning the division last year with Gardner Minshew playing about 80% of the snaps. And so Anthony Richardson comes back. We'll see what happens. He only played about 140 snaps last year, but they re-signed everybody else from Grover Stewart to Kenny Moore to Michael Pittman Jr. I mean, what is your thought on Indianapolis? I got to be honest, Jordan. D'Amico Ryans got all the acclaim last year, but I thought the job Shane Steichen did in Indy was absolutely spectacular.
I love Shane Steichen. Love him. He's one of the more underrated offensive minds in the NFL. And look, the Colts were better than people realize, right? They didn't have their starting quarterback for most of the year. Gardner Minshew steps in and makes the Pro Bowl. Indy lost 3 of its final 5 games, including that win-and-in game against the Houston Texans. But the offense was tied for 10th in points per game with 23.3, and they ran the most RPO plays per game than any NFL team over the last 7 years. So, it sounds silly, but I kind of legitimately want to see if Anthony Richardson can make it through training camp healthy. This dude was able to finish just 1 NFL game healthy in his rookie season. Yes, just 1. And then he had that shoulder soreness in OTAs where he didn't throw, and the issue was a legitimate headline around NFL circles. Defensively, keep in mind that the Colts had an NFL-high 4 players that recorded at least 8 sacks in 2023, and all 4 are back under contract this year as well. So the Colts are the biggest question mark in the AFC South, but you could make the argument that they're one of the most intriguing teams around the NFL entering this season as well.
I asked you about the skill position here in Jacksonville. We know Jonathan Taylor's great. Michael Pittman Jr. is very good. But what about Indianapolis? Do they have enough behind Taylor and Pittman to help Anthony Richardson?
I do, and I'm really excited about the tight end Jelani Woods. I think he can serve as that, maybe a fantasy breakout star, the security blanket for Anthony Richardson as he continues to develop as a young quarterback. But if we're talking about training camp battles, I'm super fascinated by what this wide receiver rotation is going to look like in Indy. They have that legitimate wide receiver 1 in Michael Pittman Jr., but we're talking about Alec Pierce, Josh Downs, who had kind of a sneaky good season, A.D. A.D. Mitchell, the rookie out of Texas. Who are going to be the wideouts that curry the favor of Anthony Richardson? That's definitely a headline to keep track of in Indy.
All right, as we wrap up with Jordan Dejani of CBSSports.com, to Houston we go. Jordan, everybody loves the Texans. You cover this division as close as anybody. Do you love Houston coming into the year?
I do, and I'm not trying to follow the crowd with this one. I think you can make the argument that the Texans had arguably the best offseason out of anybody, right? They became the first team in NFL history to add a player coming off a season with 100 receptions, a player coming off of 1,000 rushing yards, and 2 players coming off of 10-plus sack seasons in the same offseason. That's never been done in NFL history. And to be honest with you, Ryan, it didn't really stop there, right? They re-signed the tight end Dalton Schultz. Former Eagles first-round pick Derek Barnett, who I think is someone who could be important. Former Titans tackling monster Azeez Al-Shaair. And the Texans really reinforced the trenches, which was a clear goal of DeMeco Ryans in this front office. So they added legitimate talent. They upgraded at running back. You bring in Stephon Diggs. The defensive side of the ball is more likely to what the identity of DeMeco Ryans wanted to be entering 2024. So, yeah, the Texans do have Super Bowl aspirations. I'm not going to sit here and claim they can get over the hump, but I do think they should be favored to repeat as division champions this upcoming season.
We've gone all over the AFC South this week, Jordan, and the vibe I've gotten, and it's not breaking news, right? We talk about it a lot anyway with the Jaguars. Houston's the favorite. People think Jacksonville and Indy are kind of 2 and 2A, if you will, and then maybe Tennessee is a little step down. Is that the way you see it, or do you see it differently?
I think that's exactly where I see it. I'd probably have Jacksonville just a little over Indianapolis as that number 2, if you will. But again, Indy is like the biggest question mark. What if Anthony Richardson stays healthy and is a Cam Newton clone? Then we're talking about a really good team down there in Indianapolis, or up there in Indianapolis, I should say. Now, for the Tennessee Titans, I would agree. I think that I would have to power rank them 4th for the time being. But, I mean, we just talked about it. They have a lot of things going for them now on both sides of the ball with the new head coach. There's a lot of optimism in Nashville. So you have to admit that they have a fighter's chance at least at the division crown. But again, it's pretty fascinating that the AFC South went from what appeared to be the worst division in the NFL to one of the most intriguing in the NFL.
No, I completely agree. There's no question about it. Jordan, tell the good folks here in Jacksonville, you do a great job covering the NFL. You do a lot of great work with the AFC South. What's coming up on CBSSports.com in the coming days and weeks?
Yeah, I appreciate that. Jordan Dejani, Dajani. You can search me on X or put my name in the old Google machine. I'm sure our great team over at CBSSports.com will be coming out with a lot of great stuff from around the league with training camp. You know, we've got reporters on the ground in New England, Philadelphia. I'll be out in Nashville this week as well. So there's plenty of material to digest over at CBSSports.com.
He's one of our favorites, Jordan Dejani at CBSSports.com. Jordan, really appreciate it. Thank you, man. We'll talk again soon.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Now, the cool down from the cool guys at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Fast, reliable, and honest service since '87.
And thank you to Jordan Dejani, CBSSports.com, for joining us tonight here on Hacker After Dark. And look, the bottom line is, and we talked a lot about this tonight, it was a very good day for the Jaguar defense. And defense is normally ahead of the offense at this point, but I thought the defense, particularly in the red zone today, was very good. We talked to Dewey Wingard earlier. He had 2 interceptions off of Trevor Lawrence today. And Trevor did some nice things, don't get me wrong. And the offense overall did some nice things, but I think by and large, the defense won the day today. So we'll see what happens out there tomorrow. Day 3 of Jaguar training camp out at the Miller Electric Center. Well, that'll just about wrap it up. What has been an unbelievably busy Thursday evening here on Hacker After Dark. We certainly appreciate you guys hanging out with us here on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM. We have a ton of people to thank. Jordan Dejani, CBSSports.com, talking Jaguars and the rest of the AFC South. Always appreciate Jordan's time. Thank you to my buddy Leon Searcy, former Jaguar, Pro Bowl offensive tackle. Of course, you hear him every day on XL Primetime. Leon capped it off. We are 32 for 32. We hit every NFL team, have gone division by division for the last 8 weeks, dating back to Memorial Day. We started on May the 28th, I believe, and we finish it tonight on July the 25th. So thank you to all our 32 correspondents that joined us from all over the country, including my buddy Leon Searcy tonight, wrapping up with our hometown Jacksonville Jaguars. Thank you to former Jaguar wide receiver Cecil Shorts. Of course, you get Cecil weekly during the season, but we wanted to get him on to preview training camp. Always enjoy talking ball with my buddy Cecil Shorts. And back in hour number 1, Andrew Dewey Wingard. Thank you to the Jaguars PR staff for setting that up for us here on Hacker After Dark. Dewey with not 1 but 2 interceptions today. And boy, he said some terrific stuff about the culture. I mean, look, I counted out there 90 guys on the Jaguar roster right now. Less than 5 of them have been here as long or longer than Andrew Dewey Wingard. He knows about the dark times here in Jacksonville. Obviously, it's much different now, but to Dewey's credit, he always talks about what was under Urban Meyer, and even tonight, what was, quite frankly, under Doug Marrone, and where things are now with Doug Peterson. So we always appreciate Dewey and his candor, quite frankly, when he joins us here on Hacker After Dark. We will be back tomorrow night on a Friday to wrap up the week here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM beginning at 8 o'clock, and we do hope that you join us then.
Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the